A new wind is blowing, and it's both spiritual and it's what governmental. The spiritual one has been blowing for a while now. The governmental one just started. And that is our Kairos moment. I'm talking about the continent of Africa. It's an opportune time for the church and for Africa to rise up to the occasion. The politicians are talking, the civilians are talking, the masses are talking, but the church is quiet. I came with a clarion call that the church in Africa must begin to speak on issues affecting Africa. It's our responsibility to speak. We can't sit on the fence. The church is a political force. It's a heavy force. But unfortunately, the church has only concentrated on the spiritual aspect of mankind. Only the spirit. Then we leave governance. We leave the others for the people of the world to rule. Meanwhile, the church is the epitome of wisdom. We are the custodians of the intent of God, the mind of God. And so we should be able to provide leadership. But unfortunately, we are following. When we're supposed to lead, we are what? Following. It's a big error. When it comes to spiritual things, yes, we are very good there. But when it comes to governance, when it comes to politics, when it comes to leadership, in those areas, we are lacking. Meanwhile, if you check the Bible, it's replete with examples of men who have led in those areas. You want to talk about Daniel? You want to talk about the 3 Hebrew boys? You want to talk about Joseph? You want to talk about Moses? You understand? These are heavyweights in the Bible. Elisha prophesied that tomorrow about this time, and the economy turned around. We cannot devoid or we cannot separate ourselves from the economy. It is high time we start speaking, and this is the time. There is a portal that has opened, and we have to pay our dues. So tonight I came to pay my dues to what is happening. As a leader, you need to speak. So what is the church's role when it comes to colonization? What is the church's contribution? What is the church's contribution when it comes to what? Imperialism. Africa has entered into the season of liberation. It's a window that has opened, and we have to seize the opportunity and hit hard. It says, strike the iron whilst it is red hot. It is our time. It's our Kairos moment. It's the moment. It's an opportune moment. And all voices must begin to speak. And the church must play a greater role in this. And God is using Ibrahim Traore as a catalyst to spearhead it. God bless that man. God bless what? That man. A man from a small country. Insignificant, a country as it is. Weak as it is. But here you are. His name is all over the place. There's no president who is as popular as him. It tells you that God is up to something. He came into governance for how many? 2.5 years. It's not even up to 3 years. And his name is all over the place. You think it's not the doing of the Lord? It's a new wind that is blowing. He's a catalyst. And so we have to pray and preserve his life. Because we have been exploited for too long as a continent. And the church must speak. The church is the light of the world. The church is the salt of the earth. And if we are the light of the world, we have a great task on the church. And I want to use this medium to call on all the big churches, the big denominations across Africa to rise to the occasion and speak against what is happening to Africa for all these years. The church must rise and speak. Join the fight for Africa to be liberated. Europe and America are the ones behind our problem. The problem of Africa is leadership. The problem of Africa is leadership, and it's two ways. One is the fact that we have politicians in Africa who are greedy, who always betray people for power, for fame, for money, and all that. That's one side. And then the other side of our problem is what? Colonial masters. And nobody is talking about it until this young man, Ibrahim Traore, decided to revolt. When it comes to governance, we are supposed to be able to tell the world that, hey, this governance thing that you have put upon our neck is not helping us. This democracy they have forced down on our neck. What is it supposed to do? Democracy is supposed to divide us. Democracy is supposed to what? Divide us. And that's what they have been successful about. They have been very successful in bringing it upon our neck. How can they loot our goods out of this nation when we are united? It's not possible. So they have to divide us. And so you have to subscribe to democracy. And if the church is supposed to speak, and if the church is supposed to speak, the church is supposed to speak against it. Because that is not what God has prescribed for us as a people. Because the core of democracy is strife. The core of democracy is what? Strife and vainglory. These are the two things. What is the crime of Ibrahim Traore? They say what? He's a dictator, and he's using the wealth of the nation for his personal gain. Are you serious? You that you are sitting in your abroad, you are sitting in Europe. Eh? You are in Europe. You control their money, you control their resources, you control, and that is not dictatorship. That is not dictatorship. What are you talking about? There's an error somewhere. There's an error somewhere. And this is a great error that the church must speak against. We call on the big denominations to talk against some of these things. Kwame Nkrumah shouted, the black man is capable of what? Managing his own affairs. Is that not it? But these people have kept us divided so that they can keep looting our goods. But I think the generation we have now is wiser than our father's generation. You cannot exploit us again. And the wind that is blowing is going to gather momentum the more. There are some denominations, there are some churches that have proven that the black man is capable of ruling or managing his own affairs. Do you understand? You can mention big denominations. Do you understand? If you look at the budgets they run, it's even bigger than nations. Some have built universities. Some have farms. They are managing heavy stuff, which is to tell you that the black man is capable of managing his own affairs. But why is it not happening? The colonial masters, which we must break free from. Because if the church will be true to itself, what Jesus stands for is fairness. Christianity stands for what? Love. And if you have love, you should not exploit your fellow. And if you look at the numbers, Christianity in Europe is in the 70% or the 60%. That's huge. Christianity in Africa is almost like half, 50%. And so why are we quiet over injustice? It's the duty of the church to speak against injustice, against unfairness. It's high time. We call on the big denominations. They should add their voice to this struggle. Because what is happening to Africa, all this while, they call us poor. They call us underdeveloped. Look at the nations outside, the Europeans. What gold do they have? What minerals do they have? They come and exploit us, and yet they call us poor. We go begging, cap in hand, begging. They give us peanut. Is it not thievery? That's stealing. But you have the effrontery to tell us that we are corrupt. You have the effrontery to describe African leaders as what? Corrupt. Meanwhile, you are the most corrupt. The Bible says the thief cometh not to, but to what? Steal, kill, and destroy. What they are doing to Africa is to steal from Africa, kill Africans, and destroy Africans. And it's high time we wake up. But Jesus came that we might have life and have it what? More abundantly. And if that is our responsibility, we need to speak.